When you use an orbital sander, and especially when you're doing something on an edge of a piece, you want to make sure that when you're on the piece that you stay flat, and you want to stay in the middle. You want to be to the outside edge like this. What happens is you have a tendency of sort of doing this type of action or slightly on an angle like that. So what is going to happen is you're either going to have a hump in the center or you're going to be running downhill one way or not the other. So be careful and make sure you keep it nice and flat. And make sure you don't put too much pressure down on it. What you want to do is you want basically the weight of the unit to do all the work for you. If you push down too hard on it, the orbital action is not going to be there and you're not going to get a nice surface. You have an orbital sander. What an orbital sander does is it actually has motion, not only circular, but it's also moving in different directions. So that allows you to sand in any direction rather than just down the grain. Here we have a little dust collector here. It's going to get a lot of the dust for you. Make sure you take it off occasionally and empty it out. There is a filter inside this one. Make sure you bang the filter out or blow it out, and eventually you're going to have to replace it. Here what we have is we have a push button here. You can see how it comes onto my hand. Okay, what you have to make sure is you push this button, don't leave the button on. If it's on and you turn it on and it's on the bench, it's going to take off on you. Okay, it also has air ports. No, not where they fly the planes, but there's ports here and here which allow airflow to the motor to keep it cool. Make sure those don't get clogged up. You have a little handle on the front here, and you have a handle on the back. Like I say, underneath, you're looking at the disc, and you want to make sure that when you put the disc on, because it is what they call a hook and loop or a Velcro, you want to make sure that the holes line up for most operations. On this side of the orbital sander, I have a speed control. I'm doing this live edge walnut top right now. And I've already sanded it to 80 grit. Generally, you would go to 80 and then a 100, then a 120. I don't have any 100 with me today. I'm going to go to the 120 to finish this off. And you see I'm sitting on a number 4. Read your own use manual. It'll tell you where you should be. What happens is if you turn it up and you go too high a speed, 6 in this thing, what's going to happen is it's going to be moving too fast. And it's actually going to want to take off on you. And what happens is the faster you go, the more chance you get of getting these swirl marks on your actual surface. I found the number 4 setting for most of the hardwoods that I do. It's nice because I can keep control and it's got a nice even pass on it when you're sanding. Make sure that when you put it down and you do fire it on and you're running it, don't push down on it. If you push down on it, what you're going to notice that the pad here is not going to spin. It's just going to sit where it is, and you're not doing it any good. There's enough pressure with the weight of the unit that it should sand for you. When you turn it on and you're going to sand, you want to make sure that you just take your time. This isn't a race. You want a nice smooth finish. I watch a lot of people do this. What I do is I just take my time and I just do light, slow passes as I go all the way along. And then I come back and I'll come in and I'll overlap where I was. The orbital sanders, if you have it set at the right speed and you're doing it properly, you're not going to leave any deviations. You're not going to leave any humps or anything like that. It's just going to get a nice sand. And remember, it doesn't matter whether you're going down the grain, you're going across the grain. It doesn't matter because this will sand in every different direction.